What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen that I was going down. Make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. You got Reverend Jordan Wells that put more so of, I should say, facts and things that's going on within this whole case. There is, more and more things that's coming out each and every day with Karmelo and, his family. Austin Metcalf's family is, supporters. It's definitely sad. It's definitely sad on the way that a lot of individuals are acting within this. But you have it right here. Says facts don't lie. Self-defense narrative around Carmelo Anthony is falling apart. This wasn't a scared kid with no choice. It was provoked, unaliving after he brought a weapon to a school event. You got it right here. Carmelo brought a knife to school track meet, illegal on school grounds property during a school-sponsored event. Texas law weakens or strips self-defense claims when you are committing a crime, legal weapon possession. You can't bring a knife to a potential fist fight or claim stand your ground. Got it right here. Says he was in the wrong place and refused to leave during a rain delay. Carmelo Centennial High School sat under the Memorial High School team tent, clearly marked for their athletes. Austin Metcalf and his brother told him to move, and he refused. So, me personally, like I said before, and I keep saying it, it shouldn't take you to obviously do what he did. This is not something that just happens daily, that somebody will pull out something and do that, all because they've asked to move, especially when you don't belong there. I could see, honestly, if their tent, that Centennial tent, was next to it or something like that, and even then, still shouldn't be, a knife, but it's almost like a lot of it is falling apart. We're looking at Liberty. You got the Liberty tent and the Memorial tent of both high schools. Centennial was not even, I don't think Centennial was not near it at all. But then again, it still doesn't, bring him to do what he did. Says Carmelo escalated and talked it first. Witness say he unzipped his bag, reached in and warned, touch me and see what happens. Said it was clear, provoking, while preparing a weapon. Austin then pushed him to get him out of the tent. So it said here, one push, unarmed victim, and then he did what he did when it came, to his heart area. And then Carmelo ran away. Austin collapsed, and he passed away in his brother's arms. Despite CPR, no evidence of sustained beating or, anything, from the Metcalfs at all. Carmelo did run. In fact, Carmelo admitted on the scene, told the officers he did it. It wasn't alleged from what I've seen in the report. He said I was protecting myself in the patrol car, and he asked Metcalf if Metcalf would be okay, and if it counted as self-defense. Me personally, I'm not gonna lie. I look at when I'm hearing this, and I don't want y'all to, this is just, y'all know me. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I'm gonna be real. I look at this and I visioning this. I'm not looking at color. I'm looking at two teenagers in, that's obviously, from what I was told, Carmelo, this was an event that he was even supposed to be at. He wasn't in the event whatsoever either. But I'm looking at two teenagers. Obviously had some type of altercation, obviously. You're already having that, in a sense, that alpha type of, when it comes down to two different schools. When we had, this school, it doesn't matter if it's track, it don't matter if it's golf, tennis, football, basketball, baseball, you're not going to like the other team. Obviously it's very competitive, I should say. So you're already going to have that, all of that built up. And this is no excuse. But you're having two teams that's obviously like that. And, nowadays you have a lot of kids it's a lot more kids that I say that feel like they can't walk away. It's a lot of kids that they feel they can. I have to tell my cousins that a lot. I got my little cousin, my little nephew. I've told them before. Sometimes it's cool to just walk away. Even if you don't want to be a snitch or you're not kids, uh, just walk away. In this case, me personally, I seen a kid that thought that he was hard. He thought he was all that tough. You know, you got all kids that's like that. I would say the same for both parties. You got the brothers. There's probably other kids. You know, and he wanted to be tougher. That's when he got the knife. And having that and doing that, I look at the simple fact that he had that, he did that, and he made a decision and went through with it. Probably thinking in his head, they doing this, so this is going to be self-defense. I don't know who told him that. And me personally, he was probably told that. Seeing how this is not the first time he's got in trouble with a knife from what it was seen. Not only that, there's a woman or a little, well, I say woman. I'm sure they graduated. She's a young woman that said that he was known for fighting. So when you're having that and all of that, I'm telling y'all, I don't see him getting away with any of this. I don't know about y'all. You know, you had people commenting and saying, oh, well, I think he's going to end up getting away. Me personally, I don't think so. You got it right here, and there's more, you know, with this that, you know, obviously Jordan put you can't bring, a knife to on school, the school event, and that everything after, was a choice. And again, he made a choice, and now he has to face the consequences, and that's just what I look at. Truly look at it that way. Says right here, for months people acted as if Karmelo Anthony was, the aggressor. Says now the video appears to show Austin Metcalf initiating the confrontation. And when this statement is reportedly. And me personally, I don't care what anybody say. Does not mean that you get a knife and that's just okay. Y'all telling me that any event, for the people that support Karmelo, let me ask y'all this. If Austin Metcalf was your kid and they did this in the stands, would you still be on Karmelo Anthony's side? I mean, honestly, it's right or wrong. It's not about color. I feel like so many people are missing that. It's not about that. It's about right or wrong. Would you honestly, a person like Karmelo and a person like Austin Metcalf, and Austin Metcalf is your kid, and Karmelo is another kid that you just don't know, or if you do know, hell, would you still be on that person that's like Karmelo? Would you still say, you know what, my kid shouldn't have done that? My kid was in the wrong for this? I don't know. Y'all let me know.
And this is a minor, a witness that was sitting under the Memorial High pop-up tent with his team near the victim, Austin Metcalf. The suspect, Karmelo Anthony, was from Centennial High and was sitting under the Memorial High tent. Austin told Karmelo that he needed to move out from under their team's tent. Karmelo grabbed his bag, opened it, reached inside, and proceeded to tell Austin, quote, touch me and see what happens. No one really thought Karmelo really had any weapons in his bag, and Austin proceeded to touch Karmelo. Then Karmelo told Austin to punch him and see what happens. A short time later, Austin grabbed Karmelo to tell him to move, and Karmelo pulled out what this witness recalled as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. Let's talk about what that statement means. All sitting on the bleachers under a Memorial High tent when another male he did not know walked over and sat under the tent. That would be Karmelo Anthony. Austin told this male that since he didn't go to Memorial, he had to leave the tent. Austin and the male went back and forth. Then Austin stood up and pushed the male to get him out of the tent. During the time of the arguing, the male was reaching around in the bag that he had. It was at this time that the male took out the knife and stabbed Austin. And
let me go back to the first witness statement. So I can make sure I'm reading this correctly. Karmelo grabbed his bag, opened it, reached inside, proceeded to tell Austin, touch me and see what happens. No one really thought Karmelo really had any weapons in his bag. That sounds about right. Because when you, as a kid, I'm not going to lie, nowadays you would feel that way, but I feel like as a kid, a lot of kids be trolling. And everybody want to have their phones out, this, that, and the other. A short time later, Austin grabbed Karmelo to tell him to move. Karmelo pulled out what we call a black knife. Okay. And then a second, when they're all sitting on the bleachers on the Memorial High School tent, one other male he did not know walked over and sat next to the tent. Austin told this male that since he did not go to a memorial, he had to leave the tent. Went back, stood up and pushed the male to get him out of the tent. During the time of the argument, Mel was reaching around his bag, took it out. See that right there, that ain't right. That ain't right. I feel like that, regardless, you don't sit there and do that. If that's the case, everybody would be doing that. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I feel like so many people would be doing that right now. I wouldn't want that happening, but I'm just saying, like, that's wild to me. And people are literally sitting here defending Karmelo with this.
It was at this time that the male took out the knife and stabbed Austin and then left the scene. They're substantially the same, Mark, in terms of what they are saying. There are a few differences, but what's your take on whether or not, from those witness statements at the time that this happened, where do you think the jury would land on a case like this?
You know, it's going to be a tough call. And I know that's an easy thing to say. You can't lose if you say you're in the middle. It's going to be a tough call for these reasons. When you actually do an analysis of self-defense, there are different components. You know, the argument that Carmelo Anthony was there and he shouldn't have been there. Well, that's okay, but it's not your bleachers. You don't get to throw people out.
And I understand that. I completely understand it. It's not your bleachers, and you can't just, I understand a lot of that. But what I don't understand is why is people saying that it's just okay to just pull out a knife and do that, bro? That's what I'm not getting.
Of a 10. That's an argument that you're going to see the defense make. Why did the eventual victim in this case decide that it was his role to kick him out? And then there's that tussling back and forth, and then
that still gives you the right to, like, for somebody to do that is what.
Unfortunately, Mr. Metcalf did seemingly start the fight, so to speak, right? He was what we might call the aggressor, and in pushing him out or grabbing him and touching him. So under Florida law and also Texas law, and when you're the aggressor, when you first start the fight, so to speak, you may lose the protection. If it was Carmelo who started it, Carmelo Anthony. Now we get to say shift it because if Metcalf was the one who started the fight, now can Anthony respond to defend himself? We know he can. And then, as was mentioned a moment ago, are you supposed to bring a knife to a fist fight? No. You're supposed to bring a gun to a fist fight? Absolutely not. But if you're
There's no but. It's no damn but. It's no but about it. No, it's no but. It's no but. I don't like you literally say, you don't bring that to no. I don't care what nobody say. That's not something that you do, bro. That's not something that you do. That's honestly not something that you do. I'm not trying to hear what nobody, it's no but after that.
But if you're there and starting to get attacked, which is what the defense is going to say,
bro, nobody
can you defend yourself? And what they're
a little shove is not no attack, bro. I don't care what nobody say. I feel like there's been so many cases of me even you pulling away or you giving a shove, I can see if it was an all-out brawl. But we talking about a shove, bro. And you do that, I don't care what nobody say, bro. That's not something that you just do. I've seen so many times of somebody doing that or trying to start something or this, that, and the other, or even just having that type. That right there, that's wild to me. It's honestly wild to me.
I ain't with that. Is Anthony doesn't need to wait until the first nasty strike, the first injury. He can presuppose what might happen, and he's allowed to defend himself.
With a knife, bro? I'm not going with that. I don't agree with that. I feel like I don't agree with that because I just feel like there's no right. If that was my child, I ain't gonna lie. Man, I'm telling you, bro. That's how I'm asking people honestly, y'all think that is really okay for this? I'm just confused. Y'all really sitting here defending Karmelo with this? That's wild to me.
To the bag saying, touch me if you want to, or see what happens if you touch me. And that's what led when Austin pushed him, he stabbed him in the chest. But the defense attorney says it was more of as long as you don't touch me, we'll be cool. Implying that, everything's fine. I understand there's a verbal altercation.
Who said that?
We'll be cool. Implying that, it was more of a, as long as you don't touch me in the chest, but the defense attorney says it was more of a, as long as you don't touch me, we'll be cool.
No. How do you sit here and change up now? That wasn't said not one time. There's been so many things that's been said with the defense. There's been so many times that there's no way. There's no way. Are they talking about Karmelo?
More of a, as long as you don't touch me, we'll be cool. Implying that, you know, everything's fine. I understand there's a verbal altercation going on here, but just don't put your hands on me. So that was the narrative the defense painted there. They also said that Karmelo was under the tent because he was seeing somebody he was familiar with.
That's
a friend of his still girlfriend now, somebody he'd been acquainted with, somebody he recognized. And then they walked through some of that video, Julia, showing that Carmelo Anthony was under the tent for about 2 minutes before Metcalf, his twin brother, and their friends got to the tent, and the whole ordeal went down in about 4.5 minutes of both of them, both parties being under that tent, Julia. But
that's wild to me. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. I definitely feel like that's wild. Me personally. I don't agree with that. You got it right here, and it gets worse as things go on. This Fox News says supporters of Carmelo Anthony within his trial are yelling very much so horrible slurs. And it's definitely sickening of what they're doing.
My ear. Sorry about that.
Oh, free Palestine. Well, that would be a different message from what we've seen outside the courtroom all day today. I've seen the videos from outside the courtroom. It looks pretty tense. Supporters of Anthony yelling racial slurs at anyone that supports Austin Metcalf. What is the environment around the courthouse right now?
Sure. Well, we're very fortunate to live here in Collin County, Texas. We have probably the best law enforcement in the country. Our sheriff's department is top-notch.
That's crazy. Just look at this, y'all.
He was not an aggressor. Carmelo was not an aggressor. He was minding his damn business when the boys came up to him.
We the crowd. We agree. Carmelo Anthony will walk free. We the crowd.
They said he gonna walk free. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say that, because I was about to say I wish you can bet on it. I ain't, me personally, I don't see him walking free. I don't see him walking free. I feel like Judge Don Roach is very much so, from seeing his cases and seeing, I truly feel like he's fair, and it's not that he's going to just walk free. I don't know about y'all, but me personally, I don't think so. The simple fact that she said that Carmelo was not an aggressor and that he's innocent, this, that, and the other is insane to me.
Carmelo and his family.
Anthony will walk free. We the crowd. We agree. Carmelo Anthony will walk free.
That's
we
crazy.
The crowd. We agree. Carmelo Anthony will walk free. We the crowd. We agree. Carmelo Anthony will walk free.
Only good cracker is a dead cracker.
That's
Only good
crazy.
cracker is a dead cracker. Only good cracker is a dead cracker. Only good cracker
That is insane. He's saying that.
is a dead.
That is insane, bro.
Only good.
What is the world coming to? I mean, honestly. To say something like that. To say something like that. I don't know. I feel like I don't have a lot of words. I feel like that's what I'm more so like, honestly, like, just, I don't know, man. The world just gets so scary. The world gets so scary, man. I feel like so many people bring race into it. Like, I don't feel like this case, like, they brought race into this case a lot. When I'm saying they, it don't matter. You black, white, Asian, anything. You were a person that did that. I look at right or wrong. That's what I look at. There's good people and there's bad people. That's how I look at it. And although Carmelo might have been a great student, great athlete, great kid, son, nephew, And he probably is some of those things still. A good son, good nephew. They love him. Well, does that really matter now? He did something, and now he has to face those consequences. By all means, you're going to protect your child. You're going to say things, you're going to do things, for them. But it's also a teaching moment. It's also a teaching moment. And even though there was, obviously a life lost, and it's more than a teaching moment, I truly feel as if this is something that I know. I gotta watch what I say on here. I know for a fact that things aren't looking so well when it comes down for Karmelo Anthony. Just seeing how everything was playing out, and then the simple fact that he has people that's outside, the people that's online, that are looking more so about race. Like I said, I feel like it's right or wrong. Karmelo was in the wrong with it, and I'm not saying that Austin Metcalf. I'm not saying that all kids and teens, they're teens. If y'all want me to keep it a buck with y'all, me personally, I truly wish it would have went a different way. Now, I look at this, and that's when it comes to it being, I feel two ways. And I'm probably like, oh, what do you mean, Recklezz? I could see if they were all in the stands, and this me just being real. I can see if they were all in the stands and it was no tents. Austin and his brother and their school was all sitting together, and it was, stragglers around here, this, that, and the other. I can't really say that I can see that. I don't know. It's just wild. Like I don't see Karmelo walking. Like I don't see that. And here I am trying to like piece everything together, and just, I feel like that would give them more of an argument than anything. It's people around. It's just this, that. It was their tent. Their tent. That means bags, goods when it comes to phones and iPads and school things and equipment and all of those things. I mean, that's their spot. Obviously, that's what you have when you're having it. It's a tent there for a reason. Just like the other schools, they had tents, and that's what I find crazy. Like I feel like they don't have an argument. That's what I'm trying to say. Karmelo Anthony, they don't really have an argument in this. And I feel like they're missing that. There's no argument. It's over with. Crazy thing is, he just yelled all of that, right? That woman just yelled all of that, and look what they chanting.
Love, respect, and peace, that's us. 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 Love, respect, and peace, that's us.
Love, respect, and peace, that's us. I'm going to tell y'all one thing, and I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. Everybody that's chanting that and everybody that's standing there, ain't nothing lovable, respectful, or peaceful about any of those individuals. And the main reason is because, first of all of them are out there and chanting these slurs. And even if they wasn't chanting these slurs, they out here supporting somebody that made a horrible decision. Why don't you sit there and get online or get in the streets and make this more so of an example? And since this is a black kid, of other black teens and black kids that are struggling and seeing stuff online and doing and obviously I'm speaking about it because since it's Karmelo Anthony, he's a black kid, I'm speaking on that. And this goes for other kids too. This would be more so an example of a young kid that made a decision that's possibly a high possibility that's going to change the rest of his life, honestly, for forever. Doing something like that. Rather if it's him going to prison for a long time, regardless him going to prison for a long time or he's not going to prison for a long time or he's not going to prison at all, it's mentally. That mental. Thinking of things, of what's going on, seeing what's online. That's what I'm talking about. But to have these individuals to make it seem to get out here to say this, to say that, and to make it more so of telling other kids, this is what you do when another kid touches you. Regardless, black, white, I don't care. This is what you do. If another teen say something to you. This is what you do. When somebody grabs your stuff at a high school event or any event, this is what you're supposed to do to them. That's not right to me. And I'm chanting that. I don't agree with it. I'm telling y'all. I'm going to read some of this. I want to read some of this. This is Sarah Fields. Make sure y'all go subscribe and follow Sarah Fields. Amazing information. And I want to make sure I'm on the right part on this. This obviously, Sarah is literally giving her days, her point of views and stuff, obviously of what is going on within this trial as she's there and doing an amazing job as I'm seeing. But I just want to make sure I'm on the right part of this. You literally have it right here, and I hate that this is like this. I was actually reading it from my phone, y'all, so it was a little bit easier when it came down to it, but I want to make sure I'm on the right part to read this to y'all, because I know y'all be saying that I be talking a lot, and I try not to. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely try not to, but I feel like within this case, there's a lot of things and a lot of keys that you have to go into, because it's so deep with everything that is truly, truly going on and going down right now. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of stuff that's going down. You got it right here. It says the prosecution also explored whether jurors could consider the entire range of punishment available under Texas law if conviction occurred. Some struggle with the idea, others admitted they would have difficulty convicting a young defendant regardless of the evidence. Me personally, I would. Again, I look at right or wrong. This is a decision. Nothing, obviously is going on. This is a complete, he know what he was doing at the end of the day. I'm going to say that. Says one juror 142 made a particularly notable statement when he said, "I don't know that I would feel right putting a brother in jail." And my thing is that I'm not trying to laugh at this, but my thing is, man, y'all talking about putting a brother in jail, bro. Then y'all get mad when they talking about, oh, they don't need black jury. Bro, this is the part. This is why, bro. Y'all looking at race, bro. Y'all need to actually look at the case and realize what's going down. If my thing, this is my thing. This is my thing. And and this is why I want so many people to just understand what I'm saying. Y'all hearing it from a black guy. I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. Not to bring race into it. Y'all know I don't look at none of that, but I'm just being real. Wouldn't it sound better and like for it to be better to actually set this as an example of what not to do, seeing how there's a lot of other black men and things of that sort incarcerated? Wouldn't you want to, this is something that you shouldn't do. Get out of the streets. Get out of the streets. I know Karmelo was in the street, but thinking about your attitude, think about how you react. Would you want to be here? I feel like there is more so of that talk rather than sitting here talking about, okay, put another brother in jail. Bro, do you know what he did? This shit's crazy to me. Like, this is crazy to me. I don't understand it. Says more observers viewed that the comment as a clear indication of potential bias and believed it should have been immediate grounds for removal of the jury pool. There were also extensive discussions regarding race, public reaction, and concerns that jurors may face criticism depending on the verdict they ultimately reach. Mitchell repeatedly emphasized that jurors will be required to follow law regardless outside pressure. He also said that he has never had to have the conversation of race with jurors before. And that right there is a problem. And that's exactly why I'm not about to sit here and be like, oh, I got a problem. Oh, no black jurors is on there. Bro, I'm not about to have that problem because you get stuff just like this. You get stuff just like this, and I ain't digging it. I'm telling you, I'm not digging it. They need to stop doing all this. I look at right or wrong. That's how I look at it. I look at right or wrong. I'm going to read more of this, when it comes down to the next video. I know I talked a lot in this video, but just stay tuned. Stay tuned. One thing about it is that I want it to be more so affair. I ain't even going to say it's more so of picking sides, which me personally, I had to, obviously. It's awesome. Like, you literally had, bro, y'all got to think. Again, I'm on the side of the right. That's what I'm on. I'm not on the side of the wrong. And Karmelo is obviously in the wrong when it comes down to this. I don't care what nobody say, bro. Y'all can call me what y'all want to. Y'all can say this. Y'all can say that, bro. People got to get better. And when I speak on I'm not even just speaking on black people. I'm just speaking on America, bro. Things got to get better. Things got to get better. People need to realize. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me if y'all can. Please, please, and thank you. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Catch y'all next one.